Tasty. Hey, how's it going? My name's Alex Markwell, and you might remember me from such bands as the Delta Rigs. And what I thought we could do today is just go through a few things, a few little tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. I'm not going to harp on too much about it because I'm just going to pop down any extra information in the description below. So let's get into it. Alright, how's it going? So what I thought I'd do today is a quick little tutorial on how to go about mixing vocals. Hopefully give you a little head start for doing stuff you might be doing when you're stuck at home at lockdown. Alright, I'll give you a quick little burst of what we're working with. So I figured I'd use vocals from a session that we've actually put out before. We put this out as a band. It's from a first single of the last record, and it's called Fake That. And yeah, have a spin.
The river was a run and it fell over the rocks and I sat there weeping, waiting for the Sundance.
Alright, so that's the general vibe of it. So how about we just launch straight in and see what we're running. Alright. Take those groups off.
The river was
Alright. And I'll get rid of these guys as well. Wasn't using this actually, just messing around. Alright, cool.
the river
So this is the
was a
vocal.
run and it fell over the rocks and
So yeah, Elliot's kind of going for it a bit in this song. And what I usually do when I start is I get a bit of clip gain going, and I'm sure other versions of this and other programs outside of Pro Tools. And what I do is I pretty much open up using this Slate channel thing. It's like an analog console emulator with a VU meter. So what I'm using is either clip gain or the input. And what you're shooting for is like a max of -3, so it's a bit hot.
it fell over the rocks and
I could have done it down there as well.
sat there
Maybe do it up there,
weeping,
a bit easier.
waiting
Half
for
a
the
least resistance, why
Sundance.
not? Cool. So if you want, it's worth mentioning, if it's not like a vocal sound where you want to compress it a lot, say it's a bit of a lighter take, what you can actually do is go through the little individual bits, just use your ears and turn things up and down so you get like a consistent sort of level. And what it does, you don't need to compress everything as much, and it can get just a bigger sort of sound overall. Oh, if you've got any more questions, by the way, feel free to just fang them down there in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to them all. Sweet. So I've kind of gone through and clip gain bits and probably done them in different takes and could be different nights in the studio and made sure they're sitting at the right spot. Got it coming in at -3 on the peaks. And the first thing it hits is this. Got a bit of drive. It's emulating a Neve console. If you don't have this, there's a couple other things that are similar. I think Waves do an NLS channel, which is similar, and I might have running 2 weeks free trials on this sort of stuff. I'm not too sure. Might be worth a look. Could be longer now. Right, next. Next up, I'm running a Decapitator,
The river was a run and
which is like a saturation, sort of harmonic, distortion. Got a bunch of different styles down the bottom. Share without it.
the river was a run and
And now with
it
it.
fell over the rocks and
Cool. So it's giving a bit of juice. Couple low, sort of bit of low mids. Got a bit of a blend.
the river
Push it,
was
see
a
what
run
happens.
and
So you can hear what it happens
the
when it's more
river was a
extreme.
run and
Yeah.
it fell
having a
over the
crack.
rocks.
Get quite drivey, which is cool.
The river
You
was
blend
a
it back if
run
you want.
and
So yeah, blend back so it doesn't get too full on. Got a bit of high cut. getting rid of sibilant sort of bits, got a bit of low cut, rid of, rounder on the bottom. Elliot doesn't really sing
The
that
river
low in this
was
song,
a
so
run and
yeah, sweet. What else? Next, I got a 7-band Pro Tools EQ, just notching out things that problem frequencies and that sort of stuff that might exist in the vocal. I'm just going to change the filter quickly. All right. So most singers have a couple of little problem spots where they might be harsh or a bit boxy, and this is before I tapped into using dynamic EQs. Like Fab Filter Pro Q3 is really cool because you can move these up and down when they want to, so like not just cutting the whole time. But I'm just going to use this for the time being.
the river
Not
was a
everyone has
run
access to
and
that. So you go through,
it
and you
fell
just
over
find
the rocks and
that little spot, like, yeah, it's a gross bit, get rid of it.
the
It's
river
another bit.
was a run and
That's another one.
it
There you
fell
go.
over
See
the
it?
rocks and
And
the
this sort of
river
thing just
was
sort
a
of
run and
scroll around till you find something you don't like.
it fell out. The river
You can
was a
play around
run
with the cue and make it wider, put
it
like,
fell
a bit more,
over
but
the
less gain. Just
rocks.
use your ears, really. I do this general sort of corrective EQ first before just diving in and boosting the shit out of things, because, I don't know, it just kind of helps just clarify, get rid of the problem frequencies. Actually makes it sound a bit clearer than just getting in and cranking EQs. All right, next, little multiband EQ. Little multiband, little C6. So I'm using this to get rid of more harsh sort of stuff in the vocals. You can scroll through and just lock into another couple of harsh frequencies. You got the dip down the
The
tops a
river
bit,
was a run and
work on the tops there, sibilants, and also a bit rid of that, the low chesty
The
sort of
river
crap you
was a
don't really
run
want in
and
this particular vocal. Take note of the screenshot of the attack and releases, because they're pretty important. I think I just nicked them off a Tony Maserati video I was watching. So yeah, attack, release, range.
the river was
little
a
starting
run
point.
and
Just
it
yeah,
fell over
kind
the
of control
rocks.
some of those frequencies and gets it a bit flatter. Right, what have I got next? I've got a Slate virtual mix rack. I've got a compressor, 1176 style. Most programs have this sort of style compressor. Got an EQ and another style of EQ.
The river was a run and
I'll just, without
it
this,
fell over the
with this,
rocks and I
without
sat
EQ.
there weeping, waiting
And
for
now
the
back in
sun
again.
dance.
Cool. I don't know. So what I'm doing is kind of boosting top end frequencies that I've already cut off, and I find it's a bit of a little move to do. If you cut those off, and if I bypass this, you'll notice have the top boosted,
The river
gets a bit
was
sort
a
of
run and
harsh and toppy.
it
If you put it
fell
back in, it
over
kind
the
of
rocks and
opens up a bit of
I
air. Get rid of it first, boost it later. I've got a limiting thing going on with this quick release, sort of middle of the road attack. I usually just sort of do this, open it up, close it off, and see where I like it to sit.
over the rocks
Yeah, just sort of
and
play around with the release as well. For rock and roll stuff, more aggressive sort of stuff, quick release is pretty good.
The river was a run
You're going to get about 10, giving a good old thwack there. I've got a blend thing down the bottom though, which is really handy. It's like a parallel compression sort of thing you can get running. You just blend in however much you want. Stops it sounding a bit sort of too slammy and too splatty. And get a bit of the dry signal. Or the fully compressed. So that's a bit too much. So back it down a bit. You get like a nice sort of best of both worlds. Yeah, good little balance. Right, what I got? Good bit of a boost at 13 or so. Then a bell shape. I've got another cut. Shit I didn't want. A lot of that sort of, sometimes I boost that sort of thing. It's like a cool radio-y sort of part of the voice. Sometimes you boost, cut with one and boost with one. Whatever. Just do it. Get rid of things and using high passes. I like high passes on things. Filters are your friends in general. See, there's not much going on in his voice with this song below there. So, there's no point to keep that shit in. It's just going to get in the way. Using filters and corrective EQ on lots of things are great. What else have I got here? A de-esser.
The river was a run and it fell over the rocks and
Yep. There we go. Every
I
soft and it's
sat
just kicking
there
in.
weeping.
Knocking a couple of the S's. If you want to be a bit more pedantic about it, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Not to do with laziness, but you can use automation.
I sat there weeping.
And you can just kind of find the S's and even T's and some of the plosives.
Rocks and
And just sort of use automation, get in there and just, get them down. And instead of the de-esser, you get to actually just lock straight into those bits. Be good. It's a good way to do that if you don't have a de-esser or don't want to change the sound of it with a de-esser. What else? Got this guy, a little LA2A, an optical style sort of slower compressor. Just a bit of tone at the end. It's not really doing much. With compressors and stuff, I just flick around between, limit, compress, see which one you like better. Just leave it. And at the very end, I've got a tape machine emulator. So it's a bit of, give it a bit more sort of harmonic saturation and stuff if you want. It's like a more extreme version. Try to balance this off a bit. So yeah, all these things are kind of combining together in little bits to do their thing. Balance this out so there's not so much of a jump in gain. There you go, it's kind of better. Yeah, so just a bit more present, a bit more aggressive up front. Sort of it'll sit better at the front. And in context. What else can we do? I bet on the effects that I'm using. What have I got here? Got a spreader, a verb, ping pong delay, and a mono slap. Sometimes I use more, sometimes I use less. Sometimes, I'm also going to chuck this session up as a mix template, and you can download it and have a look. So yeah, Fox spread. It's micro pitch shift sort of thing, modeled off like a harmonizer, which had a micro pitch shift setting. Used to sort of detune and tune itself randomly, just I guess had a crappy algorithm, but it kind of had its charm. This is the extreme version. So yeah, it kind of just spreads it out from the middle. If you don't have this, you can use like short delays or chorus, that sort of vibe. What else? Got a Valhalla vintage verb. Good plugin. It's like $50 or something. Really good verbs. Good little shout out there. I've been using the UAD 140 plate, or if I'm in a nice studio, printing little plates. But bit of verb on it. Sometimes I usually cut it off. I usually mess around with the filters as well. Cut more of the tops if you want it to sit back a bit, which is I decided against it for this particular song. So without any of these,
I sat there weeping.
what else have I got? A little ping pong delay. Echo Boy, which is a cool plugin. Got an Echoplex setting. You can turn a bit of saturation up. Ping pong's kind of like a turn it up a bit.
I sat there weeping.
So it's got kind of going back and forth. Quite a bit of feedback on this. Bit of low cut, high cut sometimes, whatever. Yeah, it's just going into another console thing at the end of it. Going after, what else have I got on there? Mono delay. So this is like another Echo Boy. What have I got it on? Studio tape. So it's emulating a tape slap sort of thing. I used to make it using a tape machine. Bit of separation, bit of highs off. Maybe just gives it a bit of movement. Pushes it, I don't know, just makes it interesting. I like it on Elliot's voice. Pretty classic sort of vocal treatment. Pushes them back a bit. Yeah, that's basically all the effects I have on this. Every song I usually use something different. Short, dry versions. This is a good sort of middle of the road sort of verb in ping pong. Good thing about the ping pong delay is if you have a song where you kind of want to tie things together, like I did in this, you can send a little bit of everything almost to it, except for drums. It's a bit of guitar, keys, backup, synths, whatever. Excuse me, just kind of helps time all in. Besides that, automation is your friend. Just, yeah, automate bits in and out, get them sitting well, make them pop, sort of exaggerate. Got a bunch of different vocals going on, so it's probably stuff. Oh yeah, I'll show this thing about the ping pong delay. That's kind of handy. So in the chorus, I'll change up what effects I use, and yeah, setting it more to the ping pong in this little part. So that's a lot wetter than the verses. So it's not much there. Yeah, just gives it a different sort of treatment and a different vibe from verse to chorus, which is always good. You know, create a bit of interest. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's it. What do we got? We got virtual channel, Decapitator, 7-band doing cuts. Used to do cuts first, multi-band, bit of compression, and EQ. I'll do another little thing on parallel compression. So if you want another way to set up this without having a mix thing, I'll show you. De-esser tape, a little bit of compressor. Yeah, this will work on other styles as well, besides just rock and roll. Just use your ears, and you know, if it's not so full on, back off on EQ and compression, and have a sick one. And I will catch you on the next round. Hew.